Pavanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā. Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. Aradhayo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam. Ramya Kachatupasana Vrajavadho Varagena Va Kalpita. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu Matamidam Tatradharana Param. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Thank you so much, dear worshipable devotees, for taking out your valuable time to read here Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam together. Thank you, Baladev Prabhu, Philip Prabhu, and Nayan Prabhu. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you for your kind association. Although we read on Friday, but somehow I don't know why I'm feeling that we are reading after many, many weeks. These 2 days of kind of separation from all the devotees and the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, somehow this time is feeling like many, many weeks has passed and we did not read. I don't know, I'm just like feeling like that, sharing. So maybe once we get situated, we should also read on weekends. We have been utilizing the weekends and the evening times to get situated and settle on a few things. But hopefully after this Sadhu Sangha weekend, we can get to more regular track and read more and hear more. And also, we paused the Bhagavad Gita classes at the 10th chapter. We were doing it on Saturdays. Many devotees were joining. And we read till 10th chapter. Somehow it's on my list, maybe after I come back from somewhere in July, we're thinking to resume those and complete the pending chapters we have not studied together. So back to Bhagavatam. We are reading today Canto 10 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, chapter 22, entitled Krishna Stole the Garments of the Gopis. We have read till text number 20 last time, which was on Friday. And we were discussing about the different types of surrender. We were talking about the Gopis' unalloyed love and surrender. We were talking about how also Krishna has to intervene to help us to reach that point of full surrender. Although we may want, we may desire, we may have inclination, but sometimes due to some internal and external factors, we are not able to take those steps. It needs some divine intervention. So Krishna helped the gopis to completely surrender. And then they came, and then Krishna gave them their respective clothes. And we also discussed that the real thing was that Krishna is like the root. If someone is serving Krishna, then he's naturally serving everyone. Yasmin tushte, jagat tushte. And we discussed like watering the root or feeding the stomach. When the body is feeling weak, we don't separately water or feed the hand or feed the ear or feed the leg, when the food goes to the belly through the medium of the mouth, it naturally nourishes all the other organs, which are like bhuja or shakhas of the body. Like bhuja also means hand, bhuja also means branches. So like the branches of the tree are like the hands of the body. They're like branches. Similarly, all the other demigods, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, etc., they are like the branches. They are like the representatives of the Supreme Lord who have designated functions, and they are running different things under the guidance of the Supreme Lord. So when we water the root, naturally they are all happy and satisfied, and no separate watering is required. So we covered all that till text number 20, and let's see what happens further. I'm going to share my screen also. 21, right? That's where we paused. Tastathavanta drishta tastathavanata drishtva bhagavan devaki sutaha vasamsitabhya prayachat karunastena toshitaha. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Abhicharanaravindha Bhakti Vedanta Swami Śrī Prabhupada ki jai. Śrī Prabhupada disciples ki jai. Seeing them bow down like that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the son of Devaki, gave them their garments, feeling compassionate toward them and satisfied by their act. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So the word used here for Krishna is Devaki. So we see that so many different words are used for Krishna. Can anyone recollect any words used to address Krishna in this chapter? Anyone recollects? Anything besides Krishna?
Achyutam.
Achyuta, very nice. Yeah. When he understood the heart, you remember that word? Anyone remembers? Yogesh, right? Yogeshwara, Ishvara. Yogeshwara, Ishvara is the yogis, their Ishvara, and is supreme Ishvara of all the Ishvara, right? That's also used. Govinda, the word used was Govinda also. Nanda Gopa Sutam, right? Nanda Gopa Sutam Devi, right? They were asking, give me Patim me, give me my husband as Nanda Gopa Sutta. So there are multiple words, even in Bhagavad Gita. And of course, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, so Sri Bhagavan is also referring to Krishna. When he said, if you consider, you say you are my servant, then act. We emphasize a lot on that verse. So we should meditate on these words because these are Krishna's name, right? Nama Kirtan. If we are meditating upon these words like Devaki Sutta here, Yashoda Sutta. Actually, Devaki also refers to Yashoda. The word Devaki, we have to see the context. In this case, Devaki refers to Yashoda here. Is when Radha Govinda Maharaj was explaining this point. So sometimes the word Devaki could also refer to Yashoda, because the whole topic is Nanda and Yashoda, right? The Devaki episode is like the connection is nowhere in the vicinity, right? So here Devaki referring to Yashoda Maya. Vasamsi, we discussed that word. Vasamsi means clothes. And Karuna. Krishna is very, very compassionate. And he returned their clothes. So I really like this point that the Lord is very, very compassionate. Karuna ka sagar. He is there to shower his mercy. But when will he shower his mercy? Satisfied by our act. Satisfied, what is our act? Our act of devotion and surrender. If we go to exactly to the translation, feeling compassionate toward them, gave back their garments, basically fulfill their desire in this case. So Krishna, or the son of Devaki, will fulfill all our spiritual desires, because their desires was to accept Krishna as their husband, and then he fulfilled that. So seeing how we bow down, seeing how we take shelter, seeing how we execute the process of Krishna consciousness, and Krishna seeing all that will be satisfied by our act. And then he will choose to give himself to that individual or to that devotee. And there are multiple verses in the Bhagavad Gita which also prove that point. That bhakti is very difficult. Bhakti is very difficult. But those who take it sincerely, then Krishna makes it very easy for them. Right? Those who are regulated, those who are sincere in this path, Krishna, I'll take, can anyone think of the verse which I'm referring to in Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, let's read. This is a very important verse. Text number 8.14. Someone can read this verse. Anyone would like to? Surama Mataji, you want to try? Or Vaswati Mataji?
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji. Dhanavad pranam all Krishna Shila Prabhupada. Ananya cheta satatam yomam smarati nityasaha tasyaham sulabha partha nitya uktasya yoginaha. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service.
Very cool. Isn't that so beautiful and so exactly fitting here? That Krishna, although he's very hard to obtain, but Ananya Chetas, that was Gopi's consciousness. They were Krishna Chetasa. Satatam, always, even while going to the river, they were Krishna conscious. During their activities and worship, they were Krishna conscious. Going back to their home, they were Krishna conscious. So Satatam. Yo mam smarati, those who remember me, nityasaha, tasyaham, to them, I am very easy. Sulabha, not durlabha. Su means easy. Durlabha means difficult. O Partha, I am very easy for them. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, Nitya yuktasya yoginaha, those yogis and gopis are the topmost yogis. Because real yogi means always connected with Krishna. Always Krishna con, bhakti yoga. So here we see, actually, I was hearing this again from His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj, that when the gopis went to do this Katyayani-vrata, can anyone recall how many days they executed Katyayani-vrata? Anyone remembers that?
The full month.
Full month. So that's about 30 days, correct? But actually, it's not that they planned mentally that they will do for 30 days. Because they didn't know when Krishna will come, right? Krishna, it was not like a pre-planned, hey, we are going to do this vrata, you come in 30 days. They were ready to execute that for their entire life. But bhakti process is so easy and simple that even the things which are very, very hard to obtain, for the other processes like yogis, jnanis, dhyanis, this and that, for millions of years, they have to do tapasya. And in the previous ages, they will do like tapasya for thousands of years, like Hiranyakashipu, right? For even material desires. Hundreds and hundreds of years, yugas pass sometimes. But here the gopis got much, much more in just 30 days. And this comes in many verses in the Damodar Leela also, that bhakti process is very easy. Bhakti jitatvam, right? Bhakti is the simplest and the easy. Even in the Damodar Ashtakam, we sing that. So in short, Krishna reciprocate. Krishna is very, very merciful. Some people say, hey, Krishna does not reciprocate. We should see how much sincerely am I trying. If we are trying sincerely, Krishna is going to reciprocate, either directly or indirectly through devotees or through some different acts of his mercy. He will certainly, because bhakti does not go in vain. Even little progress on this path can save one from the greatest dangers. What to speak of someone who's regularly, in an unalloyed way, doing Krishna conscious activities. So result will definitely be there. And Krishna was very happy, was very satisfied. And Krishna is also satisfied with all the devotees who are executing or even trying to execute the path of bhakti or Krishna consciousness and trying to surrender. Hare Krishna. Any other thoughts and comments anyone has in this text? Okay, yes, Surma Mataji, you can read the next verse, please.
Dhriram pralabhastrapaya cha hapita prastobhita kridanvachchakarita vastrani chaiva pakritanyathaapyamum ta nabhyasuyan priyasangnivrita. Translation by the disciples of Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Although the gopis had been thoroughly cheated, deprived of their modesty, ridiculed and made to act just like toy dolls, and although their clothing had been stolen, they did not feel at all inimical towards Śrī Krishna. Rather, they were simply joyful to have this opportunity to associate with their beloved. Purport. Srila Prabhupada comments, this attitude of the gopis is described by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he prays, my dear Lord Krishna, you may embrace me or trample me under your feet, or you may make me broken-hearted by never being present before me. Whatever you like, you can do because you have complete freedom to act. But in spite of all of your dealings, you are my Lord eternally, and I have no other worshipable object. This is the attitude of the gopis toward Krishna.
Mataji, any thoughts you have? You want to add anything?
Prabhuji, when I read this, the one word that came to my mind was surrender. I think the verse describes what surrender looks like and what it is to surrender everything at every condition, an unconditional surrender at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Over to you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for reading this nice verse. This verse talks about the mood and what is going on in the minds of the gopis after this pastime. Right? The pastime has happened. Now they have, in the last verse we saw, Krishna gave them their clothes back. And how would, in a material world, a woman feel if someone, a miscreant, takes her cloth and she is clothless completely and she is then given clothes back? Very bad. Almost want to kill that person, right? Correct? Or she will be so vengeful, full of hatred, which are all genuine feelings. Correct? in the material world, if someone, misbehaves with someone or tries to cause any abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, etc., molestation, that woman has no good feelings, and that's absolutely fine and will never have. Correct? Now, this is an important point, my dear friends, that this verse also tells that this is a transcendental pastime. Janma karma chame divyam. Otherwise, if this would have been an ordinary mundane act, then gopis, what would they be feeling? How are they feeling? They did not feel at all inimical toward Śrī Krishna. Na abhya suyan. Anusuya, right? These words come multiple times. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, right? I'm telling this knowledge to you because you are anusuya. You are not envious. So gopis did not build any revenge or any inimical feeling. How dare he did that? Now we will teach him a lesson. We will tell to the whole world. We will find a court case. We will do this. We will do that. No, not at all. How are they feeling? Priya sanga nirvartitaha. Priya sanga. As a wife would feel in the company of her dharmic husband. That's the feeling they were having, right? Not feeling cheated, not feeling deprived of their modesty, not feeling ridiculed, not feeling, hey, we were used and abused, and no such tinge of that, right? Again, it also shows this is a completely transcendental pastime. So those social reformers who say, oh, Krishna stole the garments and stole the modesty of the gopis. Well, did you ask gopis? Did you read what they're feeling? So this is what is going on. So we should also know this is very important. Shukadeva Goswami is telling and sharing the heart of the gopis. Completely, like a doll, like Prabhupada says, like doll is Kataputli, right? You have seen Kataputli puppet show? Prabhupada says this in his prayer. Nachao, kashtera putali jatha, nachao se mate. Like a wooden doll, make me dance. How many of you seen puppet show? There are strings attached to the puppeteers, and the puppets are moving as the puppeteer moves the strings, and then the left leg and the right leg goes up, and the hands go up, and dancing and all that. So we have to, here gopis are talking about, they're like puppets, but they didn't feel like. They felt love, they felt genuine, they felt they were close to their beloved, and that's what they wanted. So in short, all their desires were fulfilled. This is pure love. This is pure love, pure surrender, pure unalloyed love. Prabhupada quotes here from Chaitanya Shishtastakam. Anyone remembers this verse? Anyone knows this verse? What we are referring here? Whatever you like, you can do.
Yeah. Ashri-Bhāgavatam placed a mom or the Ashri-Bhāgavatam placed a mom or the I forgot that word.
Very nice. So, Dev Prabhu, you also know this verse?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Very nice. All scholars. Very nice, very important verse. In fact, all the devotees should know the 8 verses. All of us should know the 8 verses. These are the verses given by Lord Chaitanya himself. So we should make an effort to memorize those in Chaitanya Shishtastakam. And very, very deep meaning also. Very, very deep meaning, covers all the stages of bhakti from Shraddha to Prema. And this is the last verse, therefore it talks about Prema. unalloyed prema. Unalloyed prema means whether you embrace me or whether you leave me, whether you adarshana, whether you are like, you are not even in our eyesight, whether you leave us broken-hearted, still my love for you will not weaken or fade away. This is pure, unalloyed, selfless prema parikashta, the topmost love. Prema parikashta. So very important verse, talks about the gopis' feelings, that they're not feeling anasuya, they're not feeling cheated, they're not feeling they were deprived of anything. Rather, they're feeling joyful to have this opportunity with their beloved, dear, most Krishna, their life, their soul, their everything. Next verse. Ekant Prabhu is okay, he left. Kashish Mataji, what do you want to read?
Ji Prabhuji, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Nityaṁ, all devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 23. Paridhaya swavansansi preshta sangam sajjita grahita chitta nochelut stasmin lajjayati kshina. Translation and purport by the devotees of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: the gopis were addicted to associating with their beloved Krishna, and thus they became captivated by him. Thus, even after putting their clothes on, they did not move. They simply remained where they were, shyly glancing at him. Purport: by association with their beloved Krishna, the gopis had become more attached to him than ever. Just as Krishna had stolen their clothes, he had also stolen their minds and their love. The gopis interpreted the whole incident as proof that Krishna was also attached to them. Otherwise, why would he have gone to the trouble of playing with them in this way? Because they thought that Krishna was now attached to them, they glanced at him with shyness, and being stunned by the rising of the ecstatic love, they could not move from where they stood. Krishna had overcome their shyness and forced them to come out of the water naked, but now having dressed properly, they again became shy in his presence. In fact, this incident increased their humbleness before Krishna. They did not want Krishna to see them staring at him, but they cautiously took the opportunity to glance at the Lord. So, Prabhuji, here my understanding says that it's the eternal love of gopis. If ever we feel on this earthly, when we were met with our partners for the first time, and when we had that joy of, that feeling, so that was worldly. But when we talk about the Lord and we talk about the gopis and their love, it is eternal. So here also the love is expressed, their relationship is expressed in such a way that even the gopis, after whatever happened, they were so much into love with the Lord that they were happy, they were feeling blessed, they were feeling ecstatic even by the glance of their Lord. And it was two-way. They were realizing it. This is not only they who were loving Krishna, even it was reciprocation by the Lord also. So it gives us the hope that even if we do a very tiny effort to show our love to Lord, he returns it back in many folds. So we should always try, although we are I'm talking about myself, I'm the most fallen soul, but even if at certain point of the day I'm thinking about the Lord, then I feel okay, somewhere Lord is also thinking about me. Maybe my thoughts are going to him. When we say that we remember the Lord by soul, then that voice goes to the Lord. This is how I feel. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji. Back to you. Kindly elaborate.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely, you mentioned so many wonderful points. Now, again, one more symptom that this is a transcendental pastime. That the gopis, they got their clothes now done, right? They wanted clothes. They got their clothes in, but they did not leave. Because Krishna did not steal their clothes. Krishna stole their hearts. Krishna stole their hearts. Padashritanam cha samasta choram. Padashritanam cha samasta choram. Recently, one devotee made this nice like a picture that Krishna has been stealing hearts of all, this is a beautiful one. I'll share this with you. You like it. Krishna is stealing hearts. You see this? Stealing hearts since time immemorial. Very beautiful, right? All the happiness in this world has a beginning and the end, but the happiness in Krishna is unlimited and there is no end. Whose hearts are here? All of yours, because all of you are dear devotees of Krishna. And those who take shelter of Krishna, Krishna steals their hearts, right? And carries them. It's a very picture, this beautiful picture, I really like it. That's what he did to the gopis. He didn't steal their clothes, he stole their heart. He stole their everything, right? Padashritanam cha samasta choram. Those who take shelter of his lotus feet, he steals their everything, right? And what does it mean like he steals everything? Actually, because if Krishna is the one who is dearmost to us, what else do we need in the world? Correct?
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji, yeah, he stole my television. It's gone.
From television to transcendental vision. Right? Yeah. He takes one thing to give us, it is said that if God wants to take with his thousands and millions of hands, how much can we hold with our two hands? And if God wants to give with his millions of hands, how much can we collect with our two hands? So this is Krishna. So he stole the hearts of the gopis. He stole, and they did not want to go. And here we see their shyness. Now, shyness is a natural ornament of a woman. Let's see this. Shyness. Prabhupada mentioned this multiple times, that shyness is the natural ornament of a woman. So the gopis were glancing at Krishna, but cautiously glancing. They did not want Krishna to see them staring at him. It's like they're seeing, but if Krishna happens to see them, no, then they turn their eyes somewhere. Oh, we're not seeing, but they were seeing, right? Because their heart is there. How can they stop? Like, how can you stop a magnet from going towards iron? So how can the perfection of our eyes, right? You remember this? We read in the beginning of the chapter, correct? The perfection of the eyes is to see Krishna. Was it in this chapter? I can't even recollect. Looks like it was. When the gopis were telling that the perfection of eyes is to see Krishna. So, dear parents, why are you stopping us from not seeing Krishna? And that's what they got it now, right? They got that perfection. They got that. And how can they pause? How can they stop? How can they control themselves from not seeing Krishna? Impossible. So, very beautiful verse again. Any thoughts, any comments anyone has?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is my very elementary question and understanding, but I obviously know that Krishna is the all-attractive one and we are attracted to him. But by contemplating these verses in the Bhagavatam and taking inspiration from the gopis, are these qualities like shyness and surrender and unconditional love, are these the qualities that attracts Krishna to us? And so is it like a sort of attraction? Is it like a sort of, for lack of a better term, a mutual attraction, or is Krishna, or is that, how does that work? So this is where I would like some depth and clarification. Hare Krishna.
Let me understand your question first. You're saying this quality of shyness will attract Krishna towards us or us towards Krishna? I'm not
Sorry, yeah, I'll simplify. Learning from the gopis in their pastimes, is this how we attract Krishna into our lives and attract more devotion into our lives? Is this, maybe that's a better way of putting it? Or how can we learn from that and sort of apply it in our own path, I guess, is what I'm wondering.
Yes, that's a very valid point. See, Prabhupada mentioned this multiple times, that shyness is a natural quality of a woman. And that makes him attractive, makes her attractive in everyone's eyes. Like attractive means respectable. Therefore, these days we see women wearing very short clothes, almost no clothes, and they think that is a sign of attraction, as a sign of beauty, but actually they lose respect, to be honest. That's what this, they lose respect in their own eyes, their family's eyes, and in respectable people's eyes. They may get attraction from the lusty men. That's what they'll get. So therefore, if scriptures are saying something, it applies, that's a principle. Now details may vary, but principle is that, to cover our body. And Prabhupada mentions so many stories in this connection. Prabhupada mentioned the story of a cleaning lady. She was like a road sweeper. In India, you'll see this, like, they don't have very high like income or high socioeconomic status, but she would cover her head with a sari. She would cover all her body parts, of course, and also the head with a sari. And Prabhupada said that she would, in that way, naturally command respect, not demand, command respect and reverence from others. Although her profession was not very high, like, no one wants to be a street sweeper, right? That's what was her profession, or whatever source of income. But her qualities, her chastity, her shyness attracted respect, or demanded respect, commanded respect. So back to us, shyness for us is that we should cover our body properly, whether we are men or women. Especially applies to women, because in these day and age, like men, they're even in the temple, you'll see, like they sometimes during yajna and all, they have to take off their upper garment. But that, in nowhere we see in Vedic culture, women are always properly dressed, right? So we can't just compare like, okay, this applies. So shyness for women means proper clothes, proper covering of the bodies, very, very important. and not to be too kind of, how do I say, choosing the right words, to not like, even for men also, I mean, should not be too like, what do you call this, like talkative, gossip mongers, right? It's not a good quality for men also, especially for women. It is, again, it does not, so these are the simple qualities. See, Krishna is not saying us that we have to, like, all the qualities are shared. This is one of those qualities. To be shy means to be respectful, to be peaceful. And devotees are anyways sargrahi, alpabhashi. Alpa means they speak little. When it's required, then only speak. We don't just talk nonsense here, there, prajalpa, gossip, waste talks, or just. So we should talk, but not like, there's a whole topic on the culture of speech, which is a different topic, but we should speak limited as required. I've been talking for like last 1 hour and I'm saying we should talk less. Krishna Katha, you can talk unlimited, full permission given. So these qualities attract Krishna. There is a list of so many wonderful qualities in the Bhagavad Gita which attract Krishna. Shyness is certainly one. Tolerance, humility, gratitude, equipoised, cleanliness, fearlessness, so many wonderful qualities. These qualities make us dear in the eyes of God. Yes, absolutely. Krishna says multiple times in the chapter 12 and chapter 2, multiple chapters, he says what qualities make him dear in the eyes of God. What qualities in us make us dear in the eyes of God. Chapter 12 has a lot of those. So, and Krishna says, those who have these qualities are very dear to me. Multiple times he says that, multiple times. So Krishna does mention, and of course, if a woman is shy, if a woman is properly dressed, that will certainly attract Krishna. Right? And that's why the gopis would dress, to attract Krishna. Right? Nowadays, why do, I'm not talking about devotees, majority of the women, they put nice makeup, nice garments, nice this, nice that. Why? So they could get more comments or Facebook likes or more feedback. Oh, you look amazing. Oh, your dress is amazing. Oh, your hairs are amazing. Oh, your shoes are amazing. And that gives that fans the subtle ego, correct? That fans subtle ego. Oh, I'm the most beautiful. Oh, look, like everyone is applauding my, right? Yes, Vijay Mataji, you say. Sorry if I'm over speaking. Maybe some of you can. Does that help, Prabhu? Like, I'm just blabbering here.
Yes, no, all that was very helpful. So Krishna is obviously like the most attractive sort of for our devotion, and then you also put in context how we can be, how he can sort of see us better, or we are more dear to him, and I think that was the answer to my question. So thank you. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji, I think you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for. So yeah, I thank you for that, Prabhu. And I want to show you this chapter 12. These talks about very nice qualities from text 13 onwards. So if you see all the verses, they end with, oh, those who have these qualities, very dear to me. Text 15, oh, very dear to me. 16,
This is
very dear to me.
amazing. Can
Very
you
dear
link
to me.
this in the WhatsApp, please, so I can review this later?
Sure. Chapter 12 of Gita from text 30. I will send it on the group. Let's read it. Let's read the translations in the next, So you can
Oh,
read text 13, 14. And just, just for everyone's, benefit. I think all of you may know, but still, sometimes you may want to search something. This Veda base has very nice options and things that like you can search this Bhaktivedanta Veda base. Like, for example, I don't know where is this mentioned. Okay, I'll just go to the search tool and I'll just write. Maybe after a lot of reading, I know where I'll find what and what words should I put. So I know this is mentioned in the Gita. Krishna says is very dear to me. So I'll just mention dear to me. So anywhere this words is coming is mentioned in Bhagavatam and everywhere you see the Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. But now let's say you want to only like filter down. You want to look only for Bhagavad Gita. So you can just see like filter by hierarchy. Now all the places, see, I told you it's mentioned in the chapter 18 also, there is no servant in this world more dear to me, right? Now you can also search, you only want the direct translations or you want in the purport. So I'll just say translation, like show me the direct verses where always think of me. In this way, you'll become very dear to me. For I am very dear to him and he is very. So anywhere this word is coming, chapter 11, right? Dear to Arjuna, 12th we already were reading, 18.64, right? 12, 16, 12, 13, 14, 9.1. So you see, it makes it easy. And there are a lot more searches. I hope, did all of you were aware of all these things?
I had no idea that there was a search function. You just blew my mind. So thank you for showing me that. That's amazing.
Yes, that is amazing, right? How devotees have so nicely developed so that we can quickly skim through or get to what we may be looking sometimes. Makes it easy. And just I think for the non-IT people, IT people may be knowing, I mean others may be also knowing. Let's say you open this chapter. Now you want to search a specific word. Even in the chapter, there are different views, like advanced view, which opens up all like Devanagari, verse, text, synonyms, translation, purport. Now, if you only want to see translations or you want to turn off, like this shows everything, all the chapter with the word to word, the Devanagari, Sanskrit. But let's say you only want to see translation, so you can turn off some things and just read the quick translations, 1, 2, 3, quickly. If you only are doing, let's say, the Devanagari or the verse text, you want to do like a chapter a day, you can quickly do the reading of the verses in Sanskrit. So all this is very nicely and easy to use. You want to now, in this case, I'll just open translation. And let's say it's like 50 verses and you're still not sure where is your verse. So you can also do a quick Control F and type what you want to search. So I would search very dear, 6 times it's showing up. And this is the first of those. I can go to the next, all that.
That's good. That's very learned from you.
Is it helpful?
So it's for all the other books also, right? Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Caritāmṛta.
Yeah, this Control F feature is like for any Chrome thing, anywhere you're reading anything. I mean, you can.
No, the Control F that but about the like if we want to read only the slokas, translations, purport, it will okay, yeah, that.
Yes, for all the books. Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
So a quick Veda-based tutorial also we covered. We have 4 minutes. I think we can read all the translations. Let's do it. Yes, Philip Prabhu, you can read this and maybe a few other devotees can read one each, please. Philip Prabhu.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yes, Hare Krishna, thank you. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai and Disciples Ki Jai. One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. And I'll just comment very quickly. I'm on my first read through of Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. I've read other Gitas before, and I'm familiar with this verse in other translations, but there are very key things that Prabhupada put in that verse that are not in other translations that make that actually resonate on so many more levels. So just a testament to the I'm in amazement always of him. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Next, someone wants to read this?
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Pranam, or Gurushala Prabhupada. Text 15. He by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Isn't that amazing? Text 16, yes, Sudhir Prabhu.
My devotee, who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving the same result, is very dear to me. Very good. Thank you.
Very well. Next, Arundhati Mataji, you want to read?
One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such devotee is very dear to me. It's very true.
Well, thank you. I think it really fits your qualities, Mataji. I see this in you. You're always happy, joyful, and undeviated in dualities of life. The essence from all these verses I'm getting, if I have to like sum in a few words, like to be free from dualities like heat and cold, auspicious and inauspicious, friend and enemy, mine and his, right? Wealth and poverty, and health and disease, good and bad. So being equipoised is sometimes, which is mentioned at least in directly or indirectly in about 20 plus verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Tolerate, equipoised, same thing. Anger, be free from anger, again, equipoised. Equipoised means basically balance, right? To maintain that harmony. Yes. Nayan Prabhu, would you like to try to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam everyone. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who does not care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You see, many qualities are shared, but one quality is repeated multiple times. What is that? Engaged in devotional service. Prabhupada mentions that multiple times. Who's a devotee? See, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Many, many times this comes. And the last is always the conclusion, right? If the chapter is ending, the teacher wants to emphasize on the most important thing. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service, again, and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very dear to me. Again, devotional service. So in short, yes, we have to strive for these qualities, equipoised in ups and downs, but bhakti helps to build those qualities. It's a cyclic process. One cannot be a good devotee and a bad human being, right? A good devotee and a bad human being, it's like a, it doesn't work out. One can have bad habits in the past, but if one sincerely continues bhakti, or bad attitude, or bad behavior, or bad choices, one may have, every saint had a past, every sinner has a future, right? Mrigari turned into a pure devotee. Valmiki had a bad background. Many people had a bad background. In fact, anyone, we may say, oh, I'm Krishna conscious or trying to be Krishna, but who knows what we have done in the previous lives? Someone will say, oh, this life I had a very pure, decent life, but what about 10 lifetimes back? What about 100 lifetimes back? God knows what we have done, to whom we have troubled. So, in short, one should always strive to have these qualities, and these qualities will help us to be a better devotee. Being a better devotee will help us to have more of these qualities, which will help us to be a more better devotee. So it's like cyclic. One feeds the other. Having more of these qualities will help us to chant and hear better. We chant and hear better, we'll develop more of these qualities, right? Very well. Any thoughts, comments before we wrap up? Sudhir Prabhu, you wanted to add something? Anyone else has any closing comments? Grantaraj, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Jagat Guru Śrī Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha, Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Jai Śrī Prabhupada, Hari Bol.
So much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Pranam.